it's changed my outlook on life in the regards of a future career and what I prioritize. Like, a lot of people are like, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer. I want to be happy. I want to be in an environment with people that I trust and that are good to me and that I believe have like good motives.
For many people in the world, there is a moment of clarity when you see the world differently than you saw it previously. Those are the moments when we wake up to life. I'm Rabbi Josh Bennett, and this is Waking Up to Life, a podcast about those moments. Today on the show, I am so excited to welcome Joanie Applefield to the studio. Joanie is a senior in high school here in Metro Detroit. More importantly to me, a senior in high school here at Temple Israel and a member of our Teen Tefillah Team. I would say our star leading senior member of the Teen Tefillah Team. Joanie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Rabbi Josh. I'm happy to be here.
Don't worry, I'm not going to have you sing today, although we would love that. This is a conversation about something more personal to you because it's something that happened to you in your school community. So share with us today what happened. Why was this such a life-changing moment for you?
So I would definitely say that it was a really complicated story that I think spanned for 5 years in the beginning, but I'll do like my best spark notes. So my brother was very involved in my school's robotics club, and I always wanted to be like my older brother. So I joined and I soon became very involved. And in high school, I started to notice that the toxic culture that the club had before, due to like intense competition, soon became to a point anti-Semitic, racist, sexist, homophobic. And I will say that the club was predominantly like, I was like the minority. I was the only one of a handful of girls. I was the only Jewish person. I was the only white person. So there was definitely this strong belief that if you were not white, you could be homophobic, racist, anti-Semitic. And that was perfectly acceptable to be. And this, I would not say these were like my main friends, but they were still a huge part. Every Saturday I would go to a competition and it would last 12 hours. So these were people that I had to be surrounded by in my mind. So I told myself I had to get along with them. So basically the anti-Semitism and racism got very intense to a point that it was like horrible. There was instances where people would just start chanting Holocaust at me. They would start talking about how Hitler was a great leader. And I don't even care if it was a joke. It was just not okay to say. And even though I fought back against it, I didn't talk to an adult. I didn't want to be ostracized because it happened before. And also, as a woman, I was treated so differently in the club. So basically, I woke up one day at the summer of my sophomore year, and I realized that this was just not okay. That I was so deeply unhappy, and I was in such like a state of questioning what did I truly value, that I talked to the school and tried to get them to fix the solution. And my answers were not great. I talked to a dean. The head of schools figured it out. Was trying to figure it out. But at the end of the day, they didn't really do anything. And these people were not put in trouble. And I hear from people I know in the club that this culture still exists. So because of that, I felt like I lost a huge group of friends. And I soon became just like very depressed, very upset. And I started to join BBYO, and I got super involved. I became the treasurer. I started to make new friends. I got like my social calendar, I guess, would explode. My mental health skyrocketed. And I truly think that like everything happens for a reason. And I feel like I just got so much more religious in the best way possible.
It's amazing to hear you tell the story because I'm so sorry this happened. But you, in an amazing way, were able to transform what was a terrible, toxic environment into an opportunity for your lifetime. I want, before we talk about the second half of the story, let's just talk for a minute more about the first half. You went to the leadership of your school, you voiced your opinions, and nothing happened. Nothing was solved. How did you feel in that moment?
I felt horrible for the reason being, I had one teacher who was basically like my mentor, my lawyer, and he was like, we need to talk to the school, because there was some other issues that were like very personal. There's like some targeted sexual harassment issues we're talking here. So I felt just horrible. I felt like no one was listening to me. And I felt even horrible because other girls in this club have experienced similar sexism, homophobia, and sexual harassment. So it just upset me. I was angry. At first I was sad, and then I became angry. Like, I couldn't look these people in the eye without, like, which I felt horrible about, because my mom always taught me, like, don't be angry. You don't know what's going on in their lives. But I was so angry.
This is your social community. It's your school community. Everything in your life as a high school student centers around those hours that you are in school, and that entire community imploded, and you're feeling completely alone, correct?
For sure.
So when you were in that state, how did you find the alternatives? I heard you say you turned to your other social circles, your friends in BBYO, B'nai B'rith Youth Organization. But how did you make the choice?
I think definitely I was hanging on. I felt like I was on a cliff, and I was just hanging on, and I kept trying to tell myself that I was okay, I was fine. And also a little part of me was like, I've been doing this my whole life, and hey, when I go to college one day, this club is considered very cool and is exactly what I'm maybe want to do in the future. Like, I need to hang on. So I made the choice because my mom, I would cry every night, and I'd be deeply unhappy every night. I would write essays about my upsetness. I would, like, write poetry about how, like, I was so angry. So my mom's like, this is not okay. You are not healthy. I got very sick, too. When I get stressed and nervous, I throw up a lot. And I was throwing up every day at school.
So this is a physical manifestation of a place of angst. And you, everybody who knows you from the outside sees confident, thriving Joanie, but on the inside and at home, you were suffering.
For sure. It was not a good place.
So your mom says, we've got to do something, and you finally find an alternative to let go of that cliff, which couldn't come at a better time for you personally because you're about to go off to college.
Yes.
Should we say it? We are so proud to announce that you'll be going to Duke University next year. And that's,
Go Blue Devils.
I think they're number 2 in basketball right now, so it's very exciting. But it's an opportunity for everybody who's listening to recognize that in these moments, there is an alternative. You can sort of let go of the cliff and find some branches to hang on to. So talk about that branch that you found, or the branches that you found. How did those allow you to rediscover yourself?
So I would say, like, my school friends outside of this, like, robotics club, they're not very, like, super into the type of things that I like to do. Like, they're not super, like, into the academic clubs. They're all very athletic. They're all very kind people, though. But they just didn't quite understand exactly where I was coming from. So I did turn to them, but at the same time, we're all so busy. Like, the social help I needed just wasn't 100% there. But I still love them. They're still my best friends in the entire world. Just, I needed, like, more support. I needed a new community. And my mom was very into BBYO. She moved a lot in her childhood, so BBYO was, like, her stronghold. And she's been begging me to join for years. And I was like, I'm really nervous. I go to a school that, like, not a lot of people go to, and I'm scared about the cliques. And my best friend at the time happened to be president, or, like, from my childhood best friend at the time, was president of a local chapter. And she said, just come to an event. And I remember I came to an event, and I met one of my new best friends because we talked about someone I knew at Temple Israel. Like, that was our connection.
I love that Temple Israel is part of the
Yes.
story. Do you think, I'm just listening to the story, and as a rabbi, of course, I'm thrilled with this. Do you think that you discovered that your Judaism actually has a more prominent place in your soul than you expected before this?
1,000,000,000%. I would say, like, especially with COVID, I, like, took, like, a 3-year hiatus from, like, Monday night school. Your class was actually the first class that got me back in. And it was just, 7th grade girls are very mean and, like, very cliquey.
Hard to be a middle school girl.
It's hard to be a middle school girl. And I remember, like, I took a 3-year hiatus, and then I would say, like, 9th, 10th grade, I was, like, questioning, like, where I fit. I'm not sure if I'm not saying I'm not believing in God. I'm not saying I, like, didn't go to temple. I didn't sing in Teen Tefillah. I just, like, didn't exactly know, like, where I fit in and what I wanted my future connection to Judaism to be. Because in my mind, Judaism was somewhere you go with your parents. You go to temple with your parents. You light the candles on Shabbat. But I didn't see any friends there. But now I see that, like, I have a future in Judaism. The people in Temple Israel and people are people I want to be surrounded with and people I want to like make memories with and grow old with.
And as you go off to college, it's a really interesting thing in these moments of transition. Looking for your people, your community may be a prescription for how to successfully go through change. Because you're going to go off to college, and what's now the first place that you will seek out people similar to you? Of course, in the dorm, in classes, and
do Chabad. I follow them on Instagram. I like all their Instagram posts. I've researched them. They're like the best in the area. For sure, do Chabad. And the Jewish geography web already. Every person who's found out I'm going there, not a lot of people from Michigan go. And I've already have like 3 people I owe friends who have older people they know who told me about people I can reach out to. So I definitely think that and also I know, I guess, how to make better decisions now too. I'm horrible at change. Like I'm really scared to go to college. I'm really excited. But just knowing the fact that I think I have the tools now to, if I join a community, if I join a club, and I understand that it is toxic, that women are not treated right, that Jewish people aren't treated right, I know that I now have like the strength to not try to hang on the cliff.
It's great. Hillel, Chabad, a community. Even if one of those places becomes toxic, you have the opportunity to shift, change, and find what is important to you. And that is a lesson that is good for your life. So what I want to ask you next is, if you could imagine how this may impact your future, do you see it changing the way you seek out a job, a partner in life? Are these things that have changed the way you are thinking about the future, or is that too big for you?
I definitely think it's changed how I thought about the future. I'm writing Temple Israel essays right now, actually. So I've been like, one of the questions is literally, what are your goals for the future and how do you hope to achieve them? And I definitely think that it's changed my outlook on life in the regards of a future career and what I prioritize. Like, a lot of people are like, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer. I want to be happy. I want to be in an environment with people that I trust and that are good to me and that I believe have like good motives. And I think that I've just like, I'm not sure if making money is a big priority in my future, but it's definitely being surrounded by good people.
I have to stop you. That was not where I thought you were going.
Okay.
What an amazing answer. This is incredible. I asked you about your future. You said, some people want to be doctors, some people want to be lawyers. I want to be happy. That was a mic drop moment. That's not what I expected. Why is that the metric that you're living in based on this experience?
Well, I know during my sophomore year, this was like the beginning of the incidents. I remember I would like cry to my one teacher who was my mentor. He was like the person who's helped me out through all of this. I'd be like, I don't understand like what I'm doing right now. Like, I don't understand the point of life. Not like I wasn't suicidal. It was the regards of, what's the point of going to this school where I compete with people every single day for a grade, that I go to a college who probably won't accept me, this was my mindset at the time, because I can't buy them a library, and I go to this college and I get a career. What's the point? I don't want to sit at a desk all day and type on a computer and get, what's it called, carpal tunnel syndrome. Like, that doesn't sound like fun. Like, what's the point of doing that? And my teacher goes, well, I don't, like, you have to figure that out. What do you prioritize then? What is meaningful to you? And I go, well, I love my family. I love dogs. That was a big one. I love being outside. And he goes, so you want to be happy? I said, I want to be happy. And looking like towards this, like if I could rewrite all my college essays and if the questions are like, why this school? I'd be like, because it will make me happy. Because I think I can be happy.
Incredible, right? My answer, if I'm that teacher in your school and you come to me as a student, is, hey, how about veterinary sciences? He said something transformative. For
sure. And I still talked, and we actually have a plan right now.
For you to be happy.
Yes. And this is his plan. So we're not sure if this is working, but like, I love biomedical engineering. I find it interesting. Am I 100% sure I can be happy from this? But like, no. But do a career that can fund other Tikkun Olams. And I taught him he's not Jewish, but I taught him Tikkun Olam from your class, actually. And we talked about that.
If you can be happy in helping other people, in repairing the world, then that's a career that is important. And I'm going to expand that. It's not just a career. If in your life you can make a difference in the world, if you can change the world for the better, that is a path worth pursuing.
for sure. I just don't like understand a point of being here if that's not what I do. I just don't understand like the point of so much of things in the world, of like anger, strife, of jobs where you don't see your family, you know?
Okay, so everybody listening right now is asking the same question in their head. It's the question I'm asking. Is being a rabbi a possibility? Or being a cantor, is that a possibility?
Honestly, 9th grade me would say 100% sure. 10th grade me, who was depressed, throwing up every day, and 11th grade me would say, no, I need to be successful to show these people that I can't be pushed down. But now I would say, yeah. My mom always jokes she wants a doctor, a rabbi, and a lawyer. My sister's probably going to go to law school. My brother is a software engineer for Duolingo, so
you have to either be a doctor or a rabbi.
Yeah, or both.
Or both. A biomedical engineering rabbi. It's a perfect, happy position.
Like, I remember, like, my happiest memories from COVID was taking your class and talking about just, like, the open discussion we had. Because I started believing that, like, Judaism isn't as straightforward as I thought it was. And I used to do a book club with Rabbi Jen.
This is incredible. So the lesson here today is find your happiness. Actually, Joseph Campbell, you may not know of this philosopher. Joseph Campbell talks a lot about storytelling. One of his lines is find your bliss. And that's really what you're saying. If you find your bliss, then your story can be told in a beautiful way. It's such an important lesson, not just for a high school senior, but for everybody to seek out that which makes you happy and makes a difference in the world, and everything else will fall into place. I'm just so grateful for that message, and I thankful that you're here on the show.
I'm thankful that I was invited to the show. Thank you.
So you may or may not know this about the podcast, but at the end of every podcast, we've come, unfortunately, close to the end here. I ask my guests if there is something you are currently reading or watching or listening to that has changed the way you're looking at the world, totally separate from our other conversation. You're reading something, you're watching something, or listening to something that has affected you that you want to share.
I'm just thinking about the books I recently read in my English class. And I read this book by James Baldwin called Giovanni's Room. I'm not sure if you've read it, but the gist of it is a bisexual man who is coming to terms with his sexuality in the 1960s, and he goes to Paris because he believes that that's like a more free place where he can like figure out his life. And at the end of the day, he does not figure out his life. So I thought that book was impactful, and I know it doesn't have to tie into the previous thing, but I thought it was impactful because it did. And just the regards that he didn't find his happiness because he was too afraid to let go.
He perceived that he was going to find it, but didn't.
He never did. Or maybe he did at the end, but it was kind of inferred that at the end of the day, his lover died, and at the end of the day, he just couldn't accept that. He thought he would die too, so he couldn't accept that this is how he felt. So I just I felt like a sense of relief reading that book, knowing that I'm not questioning whether or not if I'm happy.
Wow. That was a powerful end to this podcast, and I think you're right. It's germane to political issues of the day, but also directly tied to your story. And I think I can say on behalf of everybody who's listening, we are so happy that you have found your happiness. And I'm really inspired by the message today. I need to be thinking about the way I live to make sure that I'm fulfilling my happiness and finding my bliss. Thank you. For all of you who are listening today, I hope this story has been as meaningful to you as it has been to me. If you know somebody that has a story like Joanie's that could be shared on the podcast, you can reach out to me. All of my contact information is below in the description wherever you are getting your podcast. And until next time, I hope you will continue to wake up to life.